Je luistert naar een nieuwe aflevering van Over Eten, de podcast voor nieuwsgierige eters en drinkers. Mijn naam is Tijn de Schacht. Surprise, surprise, motherfuckers. Welkom bij een nieuwe aflevering van Over Eten. Als je deze zin hoort op je Instagram of TikTok, dan weet je dat je een masterclass in de Pastology krijgt te zien. Bruna en Emanuele zijn twee Italianen die zichzelf een weg door de culinaire sterrenhemel kookten. Van Le Calandre, restaurant Gordon Ramsay, naar Katzand voor Pure Sea en de Jonkman in Brugge. En dan wordt de wereldwijde pauzeknop ingedrukt en zet je daar als kok, zo'n beetje op je honger. Italians do like Italians do, dus werd er pasta gemaakt in de keuken. Kleinschalig, artisanaal en dat groeide hard. Heel hard zelfs. Zodanig dat er nu bijna elke week sold out op de website staat. Hun socials, die gingen viral en ze mogen rekenen op zo'n 230.000 volgers die elke video opnieuw verrast worden. Wat trouwens ook een verrassing was de bekroning voor digital en social media van Go Culinary Innovators. Blijkbaar zit het in het bloed, want de grootouders van Bruna die hadden ooit een pastafabriek in Umbria. Ik denk dat zij ook wel surprised zouden zijn. Bruna, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, man.
So, first things first, surprise, surprise.
Surprise, motherfuckers.
That really became your catchphrase, right?
Man, and it's wild because I actually invented nothing. That's a phrase from Conor McGregor when he finished a match and he was like, surprise, surprise, motherfuckers, the king is back. And I just say it sometimes at work and it just went wild. People love it, people hate it. I don't give a shit. It just works. It works.
Hey, if it works, then there's nothing you should do about it.
No, not gonna change it.
Never change a winning recipe.
Perfection it maybe, but now I have also Good Morning Ray of fucking Sunshine. So sometimes they switch between...
So after a couple of years, you're going to have like an arsenal of catchphrases to start the videos with.
You're never gonna know.
But yeah, before the socials, before the fame, before the catchphrases, it all started very simple, very humble. You lived in Italy. You wanted to become a vet, and you decided that
there was law school before vet. Eh?
There
was law school, and then there was vet, and
but
dazed and confused.
Not surprisingly, at the young age of late teens, most people are confused where they want to go in life, and afterwards, it's quite surprising to see where you end up. But you had to pay for school, so you decided to take a job in restaurants. Did you have any restaurant experience before?
Zero. The fact is that my dad was a huge gourmand, and we were regulars in this 3 Michelin star in Padova. So I was a customer there. And when shit hit the fan and I needed a job, I went knocking at the door and can I please be a server, anything, just to take me on board. And it started.
So what is very scary for a lot of people, I've worked with several cooks who are somewhat afraid to knock on doors of Michelin-starred restaurants to work there. Didn't scare you at all? Was that because you were not familiar with the restaurant experience? Or was it just like, I know these guys, I've been coming here for a while, it's going to be easy?
It was more or less like that. But at that time, I had no idea of what I wanted to be or where I wanted to go. I just needed cash to pay for school. So it was the easiest, fast, just go for it. I didn't really care how much they were going to pay me or anything. I just needed to get the shit done. But I can see your point of many people being scared about that. Thing is that you expect every cook to have multiple experiences or be super skilled, when in fact, if you just knock on those doors, Emanuele did the same thing as Gordon Ramsay. He was working in Lyon. He saw that there was a position open. He didn't send the CV. He took a train, took a flight. He knocked at the door. And they were like, dude, what the fuck you're doing? And he was like, no, this is my CV. I want to work here. And just because of that, he got hired. So it really takes zero effort just to knock at the door, and you have no clue of how many doors that can open.
It's definitely a fact that it will open doors for you. You will learn a lot. You will connect very well because a lot of, especially here in this small country, here in Belgium, we have per capita more stars than in France, for example.
Crazy.
But it also makes sense because so many cooks have gone do an internship or worked at places like Hof van Cleve. Then they go to do their own thing. But all the knowledge and the network that they have stays with them. And it shows in their plates. It shows in the way they work. It shows.
Absolutely.
So the knowledge that you gain as a cook, this is already super valuable. We're 5 minutes in, and we're having really good advice for young cooks. Like, aim high, knock on doors, go work there.
Absolutely.
And you're going to learn a lot more than if you're just scared and stay in the local bistro.
But have you noticed how few less young cooks are disposed to do that they want to do that? I noticed when I started at Pure Sea, the amount of people we were in the kitchen. I think we were like 32 or 35 cooks. It was mind-blowing. There was one person to do one specific job for every station. It was crazy. And then through the years, from 32, they became 20. From 20, they became 15. From 15, 8. And the amount of jobs was still the same. And the young cooks were not knocking on the doors anymore. They expected, because they went to do a stage at Hof van Cleve, or they went to do a stage in France or whatever, they were expected to walk in the kitchen as a junior sous chef, or like, I know what I'm doing. In my previous job, I did this. I called them the tweezer bitches, because they were always at the past, with their little tweezers and just plating. And now I find it really awkward that you don't see that anymore. And they want to be treated fairly, and that's correct. But also, you need discipline, and you need to get a bit of shit in your face in a professional kitchen. And nobody is willing to do that anymore.
Sometimes you need to have the hands-on experience, in my opinion. You need to really experience all stations. And in a previous job I had, we had a young guy that didn't want to do the cold section because he loved to do the stove and the pass. But if you're not going to do the desserts, if you're not going to do the cold station, how are you going to be able to organize a kitchen later on?
No, they don't realize. Everybody wants to stay on the stove, and they want to cook, and they want to shout, and they want to give orders, and it's just ridiculous.
But so anyway, let's get back to your first restaurant experience. You knocked on the doors. You knew the people who ran the restaurant, and you're like, "Look, I need money. I want to be a vet. Help me out." They're like, "Okay, come on in."
And they taught me how to make coffee. Because really, I was making coffee for ages there. And just smiling to people and making the fucking coffees.
That's all you did at first?
Maybe I would get some jackets and put them away when they arrived. Hostess, I was in front of house. I had no idea I wanted to move to a kitchen. Like, no clue. The staff was extremely well trained, but nobody spoke more than Italian and English, maybe. I speak French, Portuguese, English. So I was the face they would put there to translate or to have the first chit-chat with the guests. But let's say I didn't aspire much there. I thought it was just going to be a short ride till I get my things settled. And then I started going every time more inside the kitchen and talking with the cooks. And the chef would come and try this. And did you taste that? And I realized that I was spending more time inside the kitchen, disturbing and talking with the chefs and actually being a pain in the ass for everyone than actually doing my job. So I asked him, can I please make a stage here? And he brutally to my face said, no, you can't. And I said, why, because I don't have experience? He said, no, because you're the funny girl from the front of Zal that just want to chit-chat, so nobody will take you seriously. My world crumbled, man. Really, I was like, seriously, man. Nothing to do. He would not accept me because they knew me. They knew the vibe. So I needed to change register if I wanted to get something done in the kitchen. At that time, 1 year later, I was already working there a couple of years. My dad passed away, and he never wanted me to work in a kitchen. It was taboo. No way, Jose, really. He wanted me to have, normal 9-to-5 job in an office, nice attire, shiny face. So when he passed away, I came out of the closet and I asked my mom, would you pay for me to make a professional cooking school? Because in Italy, it still works a lot like that. You need a piece of paper to do anything. Mm-hmm. Experience doesn't matter. You need a piece of paper. So I did an evening school while working in a speakeasy some days of the week. So vet school was totally abandoned. Ciao, adios. Really. And I went to this evening cooking school that was just a professional course to get a damn piece of paper. And then I came up on Facebook, I think, one day, and I saw the announce that Pure C was hiring. I was in a toxic relationship. I needed to get the fuck out of Padova, and I just said, let's go for it for a stage. Never happened, the stage. They hired me straight away.
Easy.
So I was like, okay, let's a bit understand what's happening. But the problem is that when I arrived there, as I was telling you, we were 32, 35 cooks. And there was people with massive experience and people like me that had never effectively been a chef de partie. And they were young. I'm almost 40 now. And when I arrived in Pure C, I was 32, 33. So I had not that much time to catch up. So I just had to put my head down, dig in, eat all the shit I needed to eat, learn as fast and as much as I could, quick. And it was amazing.
I love the attitude, and I feel very similar. I am 40. And I decided at 35 I was going to be a cook.
Voilà.
So I sunk my teeth in and did not let go. And boy, did I eat shit. I remember one night specifically where everything went to shit. I stashed some stuff in the wrong place in the fridge. My coworkers couldn't find it. The service kind of grinded to a halt, and it just was pushing and pulling and stretching on every end just to get through that service. Boy, were the chef and the maître, they were pissed. They chewed us out for like at least 45 minutes after service.
But you have to admit that it might be an age or a whole life situation that at 35, 32, 33, you have a mindset that you can eat that shit. If you're 17, 18, you can get broken and really lose any love or appetite for learning anything in culinary.
Possibly, yeah. But also, I think in my case, I knew that it was not personal because, yes,
Took me time to learn that.
Things went wrong and it was my fault up to a certain degree. Because it's a domino effect. So It starts with you, but other things go wrong that are not in your control, but they still blame it on you. But you know it's not personal, and you can let it go. And that's stuff I learned before. I had leadership skills that I learned before, so it allowed me to move faster in my journey than somebody from that's straight out of culinary school at the age of 18. There's a lot of soft skills that they still need to learn next to the hard skills of running a kitchen.
Absolutely. And I think the most important ever, as you just said, you make a shit, fix it quick, effectively. Do it good, do it nice, do it once. Just really make it nice once and for all. Because you're not an open heart surgeon in the kitchen. Also that people think sometimes they're operating on brains or heart. No, dude, it's food. I understand the love, the passion, and do things fast, but chill the fuck down, man. Really. That happened many times in Pure C when Circo would get a bit loco. Just calm, man.
Then again, leadership positions have other pressures onto the shoulders, so you never know what plays at that point. There's more stories than that, like that, but regardless, like especially if you're in a junior role in a kitchen, it's not always easy to understand what is playing on a bigger level. You're like, you have your problem and you try to fix it. You feel like you're not getting the feedback. Well, ask.
Ask 1,000 times.
Exactly.
Get it out of my ears. I don't care. Just keep asking. You don't get it, keep asking. But just make things once. Because there's nothing that bothers me in the life more than having to do something somebody fucked. You do it once, you do it good. If you don't know how to do it, you ask. Because for me, really fixing other people's shit, that's something, it gets in my nerves big time.
But when you started in Pure C in a junior role, I would assume, and you grow over time, isn't that part of the leadership that you also have to start fixing people's shit if it goes wrong?
Yes, but a step back on that is making sure that you give small tasks that are achievable and realistic. So if you have a whole recipe, divide it, little blocks, and make sure you follow along the path. It will get some fuckery at some point, 100%, but you have to have that planned. I had big lists in Pure C. I was head of mise en place kitchen. I hated it. Absolutely hated it. And Circo refused to move me off position every single time I asked. Because I was getting good. I was getting fast. And I had these big-ass lists. I didn't care. They just needed to be done. From alpha to omega, they had to be done. And there was moments I had like 12 stagiaires. And you think about taking some alcohol in the morning or something just to handle down a bit the pressure, because you start shouting, you start getting bitchy, you start getting bully. And then you learn that if you divide that list with the competences that people have, teaching them just simple blocks, simple steps, the fuckery gets smaller and more, you can handle it a bit
more manageable.
Better. Yes, exactly. I remember, I think it was a month I was working there. I woke up in the middle of the night shouting "seronding, seronding," because if I'm not wrong, I fucked up the recipe or something, and I felt so guilty about the seronding that I was just shouting it in the middle of the night. That's the trauma level that it got me.
Wow.
Seronding.
But it also shows, the love and dedication you have for your craft, because if you didn't care about what you did, you'd left.
Absolutely. We saw people just vanishing in the dark there. Leaving there was a staff house, and there was like clothes on the floor, doors open. Where is he? I don't know. He just vanished.
Yeah, there's stories like that everywhere, I think. Everywhere where there's a staff house, people went for a smoke.
And never came back.
It's interesting, but yeah, there's been this love. You've grown over the years. You've developed systems, and then Corona hits. You're stuck at home. You start making pasta, but then
we were stuck at home with a newborn, so that was prima. So you can't go anywhere. You have a newborn with you and a toddler. So there it started to get a bit complicated. So we needed to do something.
So the idea of making pasta, obviously, Italians and their pasta, it's a match made in heaven. It's a never-ending love story. It's also, I think, the reason why Italians are always angry when they leave Italy. Whatever they see is not the way it's supposed to be.
Exactly.
So you start making it yourself. How did that happen? You just started making it some for yourself, just to keep busy, just to keep the toddler busy, or?
Exactly. It was just only for fun, only just to do something, keep the toddler busy, and just for us, okay, what we do today? Okay, let's make some pasta. It's simple as that. No big expectations or anything. Because at that time, Emanuele was doing the takeaway with a young man, because during COVID times, they still did the first takeaways and stuff like that. And I was working in a bakery in Knokke. So, of course, during the night, like at 2, 3 a.m., I would, with my permit, cross the border because I live in the Netherlands, so you have to show your paper, go to the bakery, help with the croissants, with the brooches, stuff like that. But then, at 10 a.m., we were both at home, just looking at each other. And after you finish all the Netflix series, all the Disney Plus series, all the everything, we had a little pasta machine, and we really started just making really small batches for us. And I started posting pictures on my personal profile without expecting anything more than my mom and my grandpa saying, "Hey, it looks lovely," wasn't expecting.
Like, well done.
Yeah.
Here's your Italian heritage badge.
Hey. And it took a couple of months for us to realize that actually the feedback was a bit higher than we expected. Because, hey, the neighbor, can you make pasta for us one day? Sure. The friend of the friend, hey, can you? And they just started asking. When we saw that there was a demand, we were like, why don't we throw a business plan, see if it's doable? And we wanted to open a bistro or a small Italian restaurant. That was the main thing. Then you start with personnel food cost and insurances and location prices and permits. And I was not ready for any more fuckery. So I just said, if we have to cut these things off, what are we left with? A pasta atelier. That depends on me and Emanuele, and that's it. Really, we took it all the meat out of the bone till we got only the fundamental. But before we did everything, our house was stacked with flower boxes in the living room, with pasta drying on the tables, and Bianca, she was 3 or 2 at the time, she would grab bites of the pasta that was drying on the table. So we would get there and see, the dog was too small, it's impossible. And actually, once we saw her taking bites of the pasta and putting it back. So we said, maybe we need a different place in our living room to do this.
It's funny though. Like I can just imagine like the kid just going up like, well, Italian food. I'm Italian. Let's go.
No, and actually that specific pasta, we were making the first ever orders for friends, and it was for Jan van Ongevale from the pharmacy, and he ordered tortelloni with confit duck. So the kid was actually eating confit duck, and she would just suck the filling and put back almost the empty shell in the table. Like HACCP.
Yeah.
But then, you adjust and you say, maybe we should get an atelier.
Yeah, but it's kind of funny though. She's got a good flavor. She's got great taste.
Yeah, let's put it like that.
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah. Everybody's saying the same thing.
Well, you cannot deny it. That's for
no,
sure.
No, absolutely. Between Flavio's intrusive thoughts and Bianca food taste, we get somewhere.
Not bad.
No, but actually, we made a business plan, and we were rolling pasta on our days off. Me from the bakery, him from the Jonckman, until he quitted his job to do full-time pasta maker, and I would help on the days that I was not working. I think it took 6 months before I also quitted my job, maybe 1 year, because I worked at the Ugly Duckling in Knokke. Mm-hmm. And while I was working there, they knew that I was going to open Pastology, so it was 3 jobs, Pastology being born. It was a bit of a mess. But during that time, I made an Instagram page for Pastology. I think half an hour later, Benoit de Witt hits up on my DMs. And I was like, what the actual fuck, Benoit de Witt? And he made a pasta order. And we were like, okay. Following that, on the following weeks, it was Sergio Herman. It was Benoit de Witt.
So how,
it was
like Sergio, the step between you and Sergio is very logical. It's a very small step.
Yeah.
How did Benoit de Witt hit you up? Did he know about you? Did he...
No fucking clue. A picture on Instagram. And I had like 2 pictures on the Pastology page. Max. Out of the blue. I had never been to eat at his place. I didn't knew him. Out of the blue. It was crazy. Same thing with Edwin from Queen's. Yeah, I can know you more or less, but... And all Michelin people started reaching out to have the pastas. Because, of course, there was a lack of personnel in the kitchens. Making pasta is a super specific job. You need skilled people. And you need time.
It sounds weird to a lot of people that pasta requires skilled hands, because it's become such a commodity in supermarkets. It's become very cheap to buy all types of pasta in supermarkets that people don't really think about that process of making pasta.
And that's why we're different than everyone else, because we make only custom-made pasta. So a chef calls us or texts us, I want lobster, morillas, and smoke. I don't know. We put the recipe on for them, and we make it just for them. So we don't have a stock. We don't have, you cannot buy our pasta on packages anywhere. We just make it as they want. The shape, the color, the flavor, the size, everything. And chefs, they fucking love it when you do something especially for them. Like really specific. And
But that's also like why a lot of those people have their stars, because they do something specific and they are attentive to detail. They are very consistent in what they do. So it's no surprise that they would love a solution that you offer.
yes, absolutely. And it's really nice to see also that after a couple of months working together with these people, they mostly give us carte blanche. Like, it's autumn. What, can you send me some tests? Can you send me something? And we know that he wants the morilla. We know he wants a faisan. We know those tastes. We know what they're talking
Because
about.
after a while, you also get to know who you're working with. Obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. If I have to make any pasta for Sergio or Gianluca, I know that I need to put lime zest and lemon zest everywhere. It's just, it's a citrus. You need to put the citrus. Even if it's the citrus. Or with Benoit, it needs to be fatty and fresh at the same time. Everybody has their different flavor profile, but working before on kitchens, we know how to get there. Mm-hmm. That's a big difference. We're not just pasta makers, we're cooks.
That happened to turn into pasta makers.
Exactly.
But let's get to the base of what you do, which is pasta. As I said, like it's a commodity in supermarkets. For a lot of people, it's a fun project on the weekend. Just mixing some flour, some eggs,
Anyone can do that.
Give it a good mix, and then through the machine. Whether they do the machine by hand or it's part of the KitchenAid setup that they have.
We don't say that.
Yeah, you're
We don't talk about KitchenAid.
Okay, let's not talk about KitchenAid, but you get what I'm saying. The home mixer setup, where it's a little bit more automated. What is the difference with what you do? Because you said that you started out with a small machine as well.
Yeah. Difference is consistency. When you do something repetitively, almost in an autistic way, it's always the same recipe, always the same machine, always the same dough, and the steps on which we roll that dough, you get better and better and better. And you can see our pasta difference from any other pasta miles away, because we only use pasteurized yolks, so it's yellow as fuck. It's nice, vibrant yellow. Not that white, grayish thing you see sometimes of many industrial pastas. The only difference between me and any home cook is that I do it every single day. So it's just repetition. I say to anyone that sleeps in our DMs, how can I get better? How can I do this? You have to keep fucking doing it. Small quantities every single day. Until you will get that the room is too hot. I need to add a bit more yolk. It's too cold outside, so let's change something with the temperature of the eggs and all things like that. But anyone can make pasta at home, and I love when people send me pictures of them trying, failing, or maybe sometimes we say, whoa, actually, they did a pretty good damn job.
So when you first started, obviously it's in your blood. Your grandparents had
I never met my grandparents,
had a factory. But how common is it for Italians to still make their own pasta?
Not that common. Don't believe in the poetry of spaghetti mandolino Sicily. And sometimes they want me to speak English like this. Otherwise, I'm not. I don't sound Italian. It's not common at all. Actually, it's dying. It's pasta making at home is dying. I had an aunt that she was like 80 years old that taught me how to make it when I was 10 by hand and pulled it with the mattarello. That stuff does not happen in common households in Italy. Don't believe what you see on Instagram that everybody is with their nice aprons and just making the dough with hands. No. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing of expecting people from here to make garnal croquettes at home in the weekend. They don't. Sometimes they do.
Yeah, once a year maybe.
But they don't. It's exactly the same thing. Or just peeling the carnalces.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't. You try. It's tradition. But don't expect every Italian to know how to make pasta. They will bitch about how to make pasta. All of them are professionals. The Italo haters.
We're going to get back to that one later. But so you first start making pasta. Obviously, you're cooks, so you have some experience making things. Did that already set you apart? what kind of pastas did you start making at first? Because there's so many shapes, there's so many sizes, so many forms of pasta. Where did you start?
Well, I don't want to get you bored, but pasta can be divided in two families, extruded pasta and egg pasta. For the extruded pasta, that's the one you usually see in the supermarket, you need a specific machinery. That is something that you don't make at home. Rigatoni or penne, spaghetti. You can make at home, you don't, because it's a whole other league. What you make at home is tagliatelle, tagliolini, pappardelle, and all the filled pastas. What set us apart immediately was making the filled pastas with whatever they wanted inside. And the color, and the shape, and the size. But just making the closings, because up until now, we close every single capelletti or tortellino by hand, one by one. So they are not perfect. They are not the same. They have a weight range. We say 10 to 15 grams for the small, 15 to 20. But a good chef, when he looks at the dish, you can see it's not machine made. And that is like the added value, like that goes up. And the only really thing that we do specifically different is that putting inside the pasta whatever the fuck they want.
But when you first started making it, when your neighbor asked you for pasta, when the friend of a friend started asking for pasta, were you already making a stuffing, or was it just
Yes, we were
pasta?
already making stuffings, and it was basic. I remember ricotta and truffle, or the confit duck, and tagliolini, and we would give it with the sauce on the side. But just basic, really simple. But there we started to make pasta at least 3-4 hours per day, every day. And then you get faster. And then the quantities get bigger. And then you start buying bigger dough mixers. And then they're not okay anymore. So you need even bigger. And you have multiple dough mixers going along together. And shit escalates quickly.
And then you have a kid eating your pasta and you move to an atelier.
Yes. We have our atelier inside Spitsbroek. It's an aspergeskwekerij in Eten. I usually ask people, do you know where is Eten? No.
Most people don't.
Okay, so I say, do you know Knokke? Do you know Zoete? Everybody will say yes. Okay, 20 minutes from there. Okay, so if you're in Zoete, you take your car, it's 20 minutes from Knokke, but on the Dutch border. And it's a really, really tiny village, but they adopted us. They like the Italians. So we feel extremely welcome over there. It's a really nice place to grow kids and to live in general. And in this aspergeskwekerij, they had an empty room. So we said, hey, can we rent it? And it was a 20 square meter room. We had an oven, the hood, a wooden table, and we started there. And they were like, are you sure it's going to be enough space? Yeah, don't worry, man. We have our shit together, don't worry. 3 months later, hey, can you please build us another room? Because we don't fit anymore. So now actually we have 2 rooms, one for the pasta, one for the sauces and fillings. But we are there and we love it.
It shows on all the videos that you love being where you are, because you also did a collaboration video with some of the asparagus, I think, early this year.
Yeah.
Which was amazing, by the way. I tried that recipe. It was delicious. But it shows that there's a good cooperation between you guys.
Yeah, but it's literally like this. I open the door, the asparagus machine is in front of my door, and I have all the people cleaning and peeling and sorting these big boys, like they're huge. And when we need asparagus, we just go out. You have 2 kilos, you have 3 kilos. And they just out from the ground machine to us.
You can't get them fresher.
No, we eat them raw. I hate asparagus. I hate them, okay? I eat them raw there. It's crazy. And once you try just proper vegetables, then you understand we're eating a bunch of shit. Really.
Yeah, it's something that's come up in this podcast quite often. But so you're there. How did you meet with the farmer? Was it a connection before you were looking for a space?
They rent an Airbnb, and my mom, when she comes to visit, she rented the Airbnb, and she met their mom, and they became friends because they play golf together. And so a mom talking to another mom with the sons that have a farm and a daughter that wants to open a pasta, and they just, it's all my mom that did that magic there. I know.
Italian moms, there's something special
No,
about
she's
them.
Brazilian. Even worse, man. Brazilians talk and connect even more than Italians.
Amazing, though. So you guys, you were stuck in your living room. Your mom arranges it. Your mom goes like, "Oh, by the way, I found you guys a place."
Exactly like that. And we were like, what you're talking about? Like, she arranged everything.
Not bad.
No, probably she was tired of seeing buckets of flour around my living room.
Moving a box of flour and a box of eggs when she wanted to sit in your sofa.
No, and our fridge was ridiculous also because there was sauces and butters, and it wasn't. It didn't have a long life doing that. If we think now, if we would do it all over again, sometimes Emanuele says no, definitely. I say.
Yeah, but that's the joy of the journey, isn't it? Like everyone that I get to talk to on this podcast that started out small, they go like, "Man, how did we start? That was crazy." But at the same time, everyone's really proud they did that. They had the struggles. It's almost like in a restaurant. You have to eat shit sometimes to get better at what you do.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not just all a linear trajectory.
No.
And
It's a fucking roller coaster.
Sometimes you have to struggle a little bit to figure out what the best way is.
Absolutely. We're still struggling every single day and still getting there because there's always something that needs to be changed, something that can get better, faster.
Something that breaks.
I managed to melt a Hobart. I don't know if you're comfortable with what a Hobart is. It's like the KitchenAid, the big one, the one that they had a warranty. And actually, the Mark Hobart almost failed because they were unbreakable. So people were just buying once in a lifetime and keeping forever. We melted that one. Okay, we melted it. So things break. They break a lot, and fuckery is around the corner at all time. That's why I'm really proud that Emanuele made a bomb-proof business plan with safety nets everywhere. Really, safety nets everywhere.
And you have a good deal now with the producer of machines that helps you out, right?
You know how that happened? I just wrote them a DM. And I said, "Hey guys, I like your products. I'm buying everything from you. Why don't we do a collab? Let's do it." Just like that. No, knowing somebody that might... No, I just asked straight away. And I was like, "Hey, I'm buying everything from you guys. Why don't we work together?" Okay.
Easy.
Like, really.
So now you have a deal. You have all the machines you want. You get them fixed easy when they break. So that's a very good deal, obviously. It helps you to work a lot faster.
Yes, and actually it gives us a chance to have machinery that we would have to wait 6 months of work time and putting away money to get that specific machinery that would help me to work more and produce more. It just gets easier. But that's a real power of socials. Not getting straight away money, but knowing people that can help you somehow to make your work better. And that's super cool.
Because that socials for you guys, that blew up. That blew up pretty fast, actually.
No, fake. Took us 2.5 years before somebody would give a shit about what we posted. And it happened the day I said, "Surprise, surprise, motherfuckers." We were in Amsterdam eating a delicious Peking duck in that, it's a restaurant that looks like a Chinese boat in the river. Mm-hmm. It's a really big place. I know where Sea Palais, something like that. We're eating a bomb Peking duck, and I see the phone that da-da-ding, 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 because I still had the notifications on. And it just went crazy. And we didn't understand what was going on. And in 48 hours, I think we got 50,000 followers. It just like blew up completely just by insulting people while I was cooking. And we had been so polite and so picture perfect until now. And then I just said, let's just throw everything to the weeds. Just be myself and just...
Because that's you were just doing regular photos, regular announcements before of, hey, we're making this pasta this week, that sort of stuff before the videos, right?
You want to know the whole story?
Yes.
We are really good at making pasta. We have fucking no knowledge of how to work on socials, making a website, setting a shop on Shopify. So in our business plan, we included a media company. And we chose a big-ass one. Like the fucking 4 Michelin star of media companies. 20K, okay? Just to get you an idea of how much money I threw down the trash, really. Just threw. We met them. We set everything. They took care of launching Shopify website, posting, making videos, and but we were a small company in comparison to the clients they had. So they put stagiaires doing our shit. And that's not what I wanted. That was not what I was paying for. They lasted 3 months, 20Ks in 3 months, until I told them to get the fuck out of there.
Ouch.
No whatsoever communication, passwords, logins. They put their fucking pixel in our page so they could control the traffic and everything. It almost had to go to a lower point until we just said, guys, just plug off, really. And there, I had to learn how to move and how to work and how to do things on socials. I have a consultant in Italy that tries to keep me on the track, you know, just because
I love how you put emphasis on the word tries.
Tries, yeah, because she knows I don't have an editorial plan. I don't plan the videos. I have so I make pasta. The whole social part is a plus, just a fun part. And I'm not ashamed to say the first CapCut videos, I did them on the toilet. I would film the whole day. When I was sitting in the toilet, I would just go there with CapCut and make the videos. But she guides us a bit on what's and what nots too. And this, we never lose. We either learn or we win. With the media company, that hurts, eh?
It's a lot of money.
That hurts. But it had to be done in order for us to understand what to do ourselves. Now we are fully just me behind the socials. And people asking me, yeah, who does your things? Who does? Yeah, me. And just on the free time. But I see many small businesses getting big time fucked with this. Just, I cannot never stress enough, take some time and make mistakes, because it took us 2.5 years of picture perfect before understanding our niche.
Which led to big things, obviously. So you're sitting there, Amsterdam, enjoying your Peking duck, and all your notifications are going off the whole time. What's going through your head at that point?
I did something right. I was like, I did something right, because the first impression, also of Emanuele, when he saw the first video edited, he was like, are you sure? You know, it's quite of a big punch on the, like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, what can we lose? The 5,000 followers we have? You know, it's make it or break it, really.
Exactly. And even if it failed, you still had a business. It was not essential.
That's what people don't understand. There is nothing worse you can call me, such as content creator. People say to me, you're a content creator. No, I have a fucking pasta business. The content creation is something we do to put us ourselves out there. So even if that didn't work, as you say, we roll pasta for a living. We don't make videos. But people tend to forget that.
Well, they only see what they see or what they want to see. So you kind of have to forgive them for seeing it that way.
Yes.
Because, you know, the thing is with socials and content creation as it is, kids now grow up thinking they want to be a content creator. They want to be an influencer. They don't know what they want to influence in or what kind of content they want to make. That's become an aspiration. But it's like, you know, people that go to culinary school and say, I want to be a Michelin-starred chef. Cool.
Just the fact that they call themselves chef. You're a fucking cook. I am a fucking cook. I'm not a chef. Just the fact that, you know, you have those Instagram pages, official chef, I don't know, and the name, or a chef, blah, blah, blah. You're not a fucking doctor. You're not operating. You're a cook, dude. You're heating pots and pans. Chill.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's part of the job title, though. Chef de partie. Chef de cuisine.
Yes. I would never call myself a chef.
But that's a rank, you know. That's what I like. Yes, I'm a cook, but I work as chef de cuisine. I work as chef de partie.
Voila, but I would never put my fucking name, Chef Bruna. You know, that's something that...
sounds good, though.
It makes me itchy, really itchy.
But I guess it shows the humbleness you have in a way, that you just keep your feet on the ground, you dig your head in, you make the pasta, you roll.
You have to,
You grind. You play the guitarra once in a while. I've seen on
people love that.
For people that don't understand, it looks like a box with strings, and that's how you make a type of pasta.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the best way to describe it, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know how many people bought it after that video. It was wild, and people sending me videos of them. Oh, how do I put the guitarra like this? But can I turn it? Do I have to put flour before? How can I wash it? And it was...
Wait, so people started doing that because you've inspired them to do it?
They went out on Amazon to buy guitarras. So it's like wooden. It's this big, and it has the strings that are really close to each other on one side. That's for the spaghetti alla chitarra. And on the other side, you can make almost a tagliatella. But as a guitar has chords, you need to tighten the chords of the chitarra. And when you buy it, usually they're a bit loose, and you don't really know what to do with it. So people on the DMs, how do I fix it? How can I wash it? And I was like, seriously, guys, I just made a video playing the fucking kitchen instrument and you're buying it? Like, what the heck?
So you had that first video that blew up. When did you notice that, like, maybe it's a lucky shot, right? It happens. Sometimes things go viral and you don't know why or what, but you follow up and you notice, like, okay, this is what we have to do.
Well, the first 5 videos I posted all did 1 million views. So after one, you say, fuck, I'm lucky. Second, hey, good shot. And the third, and the fourth, you're like, okay. And Emanuele was like, hey, I love your videos. Hey, don't change a thing. Yeah, until the other week, you were like, are you sure you're going to post that? No, I tried to also...
But hindsight is 2020, obviously.
Sorry?
Hindsight is 2020.
Yeah.
So it's always easier to be like, oh, yeah, it's amazing when you do great.
No, but he's fully supportive. He just knows that people, I'm really ride or die. Or you really like me, or you fucking hate me to bits. There's no in between ever. But my whole life has been like this. I just made peace with it. I accept it. And I'm not, if I wanted to please everyone, I would have been born Nutella, not Bruna. I always say that.
That's actually a good expression.
Yeah. But so we make batches of 4 or 5 videos, and the first 5 we did, bam, all blew up. And then it stabilized. And then you start asking, did I bore people? Are they had enough of my surprise motherfuckers? And you start all with these questions in your head. But stubborn as a mule, I just said, I don't give a shit. We keep doing just as we're doing. And actually the video maker, Aliki, I met her at the manege. We go horse riding in the same place. And she was specialized in horses and beautiful images of people with horses. So imagine her face the first time she puts herself with the camera and I start insulting people. She was like, are we going to do this? We do this. Now she guides me a bit on, hey, you're saying too much of this, talk less, or she just guides a bit through.
More not on content, but more like to make it easier to make the videos.
Yes, to in an editing point of view. Also, you have 1 minute 30, and as you can see, I talk a fucking lot. So for her to cut and put pieces here and there, it was challenging. But we go along super well together. So she knows that she can tell me, do this, do that, talk less, or whatever. And then the videos at a certain moment, they stabilized. So you start asking yourself thousands of questions, and the algorithm, then everybody becomes an expert on, the hashtags, the quotes, or everybody needs to say something. 2 days ago, I posted a video with this caption. Just for a test, just this. I think I have 300,000 views, and that's it. No hashtags, no nothing. Sometimes you get a lot of views, sometimes you don't get. What people don't understand is that socials are a monologue. You are talking to the camera. It's your problem if you care or not that people reply to it or interact with it or whatever. How do you say? It's you decide at what level you want to be involved in that. I don't make professional, perfect recipes because the housewife She doesn't have half of the equipment I have. She doesn't have half of the skills I have. I just make it simple and easy that any motherfucker can make at home. And then I get the Italo haters.
But so you started making those videos, just a bit of fun. You do it your own way. It blows up. With fame, you've mentioned it, come the haters. You started having fun with that as well. But I can imagine the first couple of messages you got or you saw that was not fun.
I'm not a robot.
Exactly.
I would lie if I say that at a certain moment, especially in the beginning, it didn't touch me or hurt me. I have a big back, and I'm almost 40 years old. I have been a bully. I apologize already with a lot of people I had to apologize. I have a big mouth. But sometimes when people touch some strings, because you make yourself vulnerable when you're out there, it doesn't hurt me as a person. But the thought that there are 15, 16 years old people watching those videos, making videos that are something similar, they don't have the backbone I have to get those comments and react in a funny way, sarcastic or positively. It can fucking hurt them big time. Mm-hmm. And I'm scared to bits because I have kids and I don't know how to teach them the skills of real life and what you're putting out there. It really scares me rotten.
But so how did you deal with that the first couple of times? Because now you just make a game out of it, almost.
Yeah, I expose them. When somebody is dumb enough to be so hateful, I expose them. Because that's the principles of social media. You don't like something, ignore it. If you comment, if you leave a reaction, if you share it, you're just gifting me engagement. Just ignore. But we cannot expect depth from a puddle, we say in Italy. So you cannot fight everyone all the time. And you don't make peace with it until you realize it's a monologue. It just hurts you until you want it. We want it to hurt you. Because you can hide comments. You can block people. You can just ignore it. And I learned that the fastest I just erase the comments, the better I live. If you leave all the comments of haters, it gives strength to other people to do so. Because I notice that if somebody writes some dickhead sentence or anything and I leave it there, they will keep coming. It's just like a herd. They just keep coming. If you just erase the first one, it's almost solved. 99% of the times, the problem is solved. It's wild.
This is solid advice for people that have to deal with it.
Yeah, but I have OCD, so I need to put a reaction on everybody that comments, on everybody that sends a DM. It's really my obsessive trait because
How do you still have time to make pasta?
Yeah, I do a fuck ton of things together. No, it's... I hate it when people get it above their heads and they think, yeah, I have 230,000 followers. I'm just going to ignore. No, we have that amount of people because we care about it. What does it cost for you to double tap and get a heart to somebody that texts you? Nothing. And it makes their fucking day. It's crazy how we have the power to make somebody's day just by acknowledging that they texted us. It's really so small and so effective. And people just stay there wanting your content, wanting to have something, a piece of yours. But yeah, it takes months to just let it go. Now I'm working on keeping this OCD a bit under control.
Hey, it is what it is, obviously. But so you what's some of the comments that you've had you turn around in a funny way? But what I always find very funny is how people are an expert and tell you what you need to do better when you're...
I give out medals on mansplaining. I give medals to the people because everyone knows better. And it is really because I don't have this accent in English. So Italians think immediately I'm not Italian. just because they speak normal English. So they start and they come at you like, you don't do this, you don't do that, you don't say this, you don't say that. Just...
But it's wild to me because Italy is a really big country. The way they make pasta in one side of Italy is not the same they make it in the other side of Italy. So
if I explained it in Italian, I would not have this problem. Trust me. It's the fact that I'm not explaining it in Italian.
So soon there will be a Pastology Italy channel.
Fuck no. Hell no, man. Not a single chance. Not today, Satan. Oh, but it is that, because then when I reply writing in Italian, it flips totally. Oh my God, I didn't realize you were Italian. Oh, yeah, you're right. Maybe my auntie did it like this, and then my grandma did it like that. The music changes big time on the amps.
That's wild.
Yeah, I want to see if an Italian explain a person from Oostende how to make a carnal croquette in Italian. You guys would find the same problems and the same things.
Probably. But as you said, it's a monologue, and if I don't have to consume the content and I don't have to engage with the content.
But people still do it. It's...
Yeah, well...
Yeah, but it's not my job to explain to them how it works. It's actually free consultancy what I do when I say, hey, if you don't like it, don't be a dick. Don't comment, because I'm going to block you.
Yeah, the don't be a dick part, a lot of people seem to forget that when they're on the internet, whether it's grandma posting racist stuff on socials or when it's people hating and hurting people. Like, don't be a dick. You wouldn't like it. Why do you think it's fun?
That's a question I will never be able to answer, but there is a very specific niche of people that I will not say exactly who they are, but when a comment is extremely hateful and woman-oriented for the fact that I talk like I talk and I'm a woman, and I click to see who is that person, I'm not joking, 99% of the times they come from a specific country, and it blows my mind, because sometimes I don't even need to open. I say to Emanuele, he is from, go check, bam, the flag is on the profile. It is wild.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm not going to say it. Anyway.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. But let's get back to business and let's talk about pasta. I mean,
Dimmi.
You've explained a lot of things already on your social media, but the essence of pasta. Let's say I want to start making pasta at home. I don't need much, I think. I need some good flour, some eggs, and a pasta machine.
I'll blow your mind. You don't need good flour. You just go to the supermarket and get any flour. Eggs, those ones, if you manage to get real grass-fed eggs, will make a difference.
Okay, so that's all I have to do to get started.
Yeah, pasta machine, why? You don't need one to start. You just need your hands and a rolling pin. You don't have one? There's plenty of bottles here you can use. Just make sure they're round.
I can make shapes on some of them, I think.
Yeah, actually, you can make... yeah.
See, this is a good example.
You can make cavatelli with that. Would come perfect.
So you don't need fancy machinery. And
Absolutely.
I like seeing that in your videos as well. Sometimes it's very basic what you do.
Yeah.
You explain to the core what the pasta is all about.
Absolutely, because really, it's, as I told you in the beginning, it's more of a repetition work. So don't expect it to come perfect and texture-wise easy to work or whatever the first time. You just have to keep doing it. What people don't realize is that they can make pasta with 100 grams of flour and 1 egg. You don't need to make those big nonna batches to start with. You can really make pasta for one and start and build up from there. There is an account on Instagram of a guy that uses like thousands of yolks to make the pasta. Actually, it is like that. You start with 1, then you put 2, and then you put 3, and then it escalates. But really, you don't even need to dirt a table. You can just make everything in a bowl. And it's flour and egg. There's no oil, no salt, no nothing. It's just that and a bit of patience. But not a baker's kind of patience, because that we don't have it.
I guess that's the reason why you left the bakery and made pasta.
That's my kink, actually, to be a baker. But patience is a lacking ingredient, so We do what we do.
But so you get started, and then people just have to keep going at it. When they have questions, they slide into your DMs
Constantly.
apparently,
And we give them a solid advice. And we acknowledge that they are doing it.
that's
and
cool.
For every comment of hate, we get tens of hundreds of messages of people sharing their kids making pasta, them making blobs horrible, and they're like, what the fuck did I do wrong, or anything like that. And we just engage with those people. We're humans. Like, it costs fucking nothing to be nice.
Yeah, it's true.
It's really...
So what's the most surprising thing you've seen from followers in a good and a bad way?
Most surprisingly good is people actually starting to make pasta, tackling it, and making now stuff that I would sell. Really, like chapeau.
Like you've seen people make that progression.
Yes, but in no time. And just because I think they're a bit special like we are, they just focus on doing that. And I think I posted yesterday or some days ago, a lady that sent me black capelletti. Man, that's restaurant material, eh? Not home, not home cook, really. And a comment that really touched my strings, let's put it like that, is somebody commenting that I'm a horrible mother because I exposed my daughter on socials. I made one fucking video with her. One.
Yeah, that's a touchy subject.
Yeah, but guys, and that's why I don't do them. People keep asking, begging for them, and I'm like, no, it's not. She wanted to be on the video as a game, and voila. But that's not what we do. That's not what we are going to do. For Par Condicio, we put also the one of Flavio. That's it. That's what people's gonna see about my kids. Period. But from that video, man, the comments, the kid had to do more. Yeah, if I put a knife on the kid's hand, I would have had the hate because I put a knife in the kid's hand. The kid didn't do this. Yeah, if she doesn't want to talk, I'm not going to force. If I force, anywhere you turn, you're going to get shit.
Fun?
Yeah, 3.6 million views.
Yeah.
But
but then in terms of creations, because you mentioned a blob. Somebody sent you a picture of a blob asking what went wrong.
Sometimes I don't have the heart to tell people also.
But you've seen it, so you can tell it. You don't have to. You don't have
It
to
is autumn.
name anyone. But
It is autumn, so we have very earthy tones that can go from the oranges to the browns to the very browns. And let's say that people, when they don't put enough egg yolks, the pasta becomes a bit gray. And the mushroom sauce is a bit too brown. And it looks like a lump of shit on a dish. But, man, I will never be that horrible person to say, dude, what the fuck you're eating? I just say, hey, looks nice. I would plate it like this. Or, I just try to give counsel around it. But I will never sink somebody on purpose. Come on.
yeah, I do understand. But you don't have to name anyone. It's still fun to hear these kind of stories.
Yeah, but what's the problem with Belgian people? Okay, that they put the pasta and the blob of sauce on top. Why you guys don't mix the pasta with the sauce? I will never get over that.
I think, honestly, because we were never taught that way. We always got pasta and then sauce on top. And that's how it's always been. So that's how we do. Monkey see, monkey do.
It hurts. It hurts the feelings, really. I've actually also seen people with a bowl of sauce and dipping the white pasta on the sauce.
Wait, what?
Yeah, exactly what I just said. Instead of the usual bowls you find here, with your really white as can be spaghetti, with the sauce on top and some mozzarella, I don't know, Gruyere, or on top of that.
The classic Belgian bolognese.
I saw once a bowl of plain spaghetti. You had no butter in there. You have no oil. You have no soul. You have no regrets in there. And then they just put the spaghetti like this, and in another bowl the sauce, and then they ate it. So it was like a crossover between a ramen and a pasta. And my ancestors just banging on their graves to get out. It was...
Wow.
It hurts, eh?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't understand why people don't mix it with the sauce. And sometimes I even get comments when I do it, like, "Oh, but I don't like it that way." And I'm like, why not? You have more sauce on your pasta. You have more flavor. You have...
Yeah. I think that it would hurt you guys the same way if I ate a vol au vent with waterzooi on top and a couple of chicken nuggets. Just put all your traditions together, all in one dish. Then you guys would start to feel it.
Yeah, or maybe when you're talking about vol au vent, when you serve it, you put the cookie separate.
No, come on, man.
It's weird.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's weird. So yeah, I mean, I get you. I feel you.
But you see, that's something surprising. I absolutely adore Belgian cuisine. I love it. Vol au ventjes and stoofvlees and also capsalons I like.
It's comfort food.
I got in the mood, really. It was, in the beginning, a bit of emotional damage with some textures. But once that barrier...
Or the lack thereof.
Yes, yeah. But once that barrier was broken, I go to the neighborhood restaurant for my stoofvlees and frietjes. And...
Nice. It's good.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but I'm still surprised about dipping the pasta. I'm still speechless about that one.
Yeah, it was. You see, I try to find a positive thing about everything. So I think it was a crossover between a ramen and the pasta, and just somebody wanting to be creative, some sort of way.
Deconstructed.
Yeah,
that was a big trend in culinary world a while ago. Deconstructed everything.
Yeah,
Maybe it's just that.
No, I think I ate once a deconstructed tiramisu. It was not a fucking tiramisu. It was the lady fingers, it was the coffee, and there was a mascarpone cream, and you had to dip the things. I don't pay for that, okay? I want a nice, solid tiramisu.
It's like, I don't like going to restaurants where I have to cook my food. I'm not going to a restaurant to cook my food unless I'm getting paid.
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
Yeah. But so, then all of a sudden, last year, you guys get a call from Gomio. You get to go to an event, and you get an award.
I still don't understand what happened, man. I still can't understand what happened there.
I was going to ask what happened.
We get a call from a PR agency saying, hey, we have spots at our table. We would like to invite you. Yeah, fucking cool. I wanted to go. Okay. One day after, Frank opens call. And he says, hey, you guys have been nominated to this and this award. I want to make sure you're coming. We're like, okay, what the actual fuck? No idea.
So day one, you're like, cool, we get a free invite.
Yeah.
Awesome, let's go. Day two, you go like, we're nominated?
Wait, is Gomio calling me to tell me that, okay, didn't even knew it was a thing? What I know is a week later, we were sitting there and I see my face splattered everywhere on the screen. And just like that one, I still don't know where that came from.
So just to get the big picture, you were nominated in the category digital and social media.
Yeah.
I think I kind of figure out where that came from. Your videos blew up.
Okay.
Right?
But for Gomio to acknowledge us? That's wild, man.
You are in the culinary industry,
yeah,
so...
Now I have that prize. It's standing on a part of the kitchen, and sometimes we just randomly, take it out, like, oh, my prize, just randomly take it out. Like, where the fuck did that come from? Because that was unexpected, absolutely. And it all happened in a week time, eh? It was like on a Monday we got the first invitation. On the following Monday or Tuesday we were there. So it was like, really.
Mm-hmm. And you weren't expecting it, which makes sense. But when you heard that you were nominated, did you check out who else was nominated? Did you figure out?
No idea. No fucking clue, man. That's why. There's nowhere to be seen where who else was on the rooster for that or anything. No, out of the blue. I've been trying to go to that event for the past 4 years. Okay. Just let's put it like that. Just to be there, to check it out and whatever.
It seems like a very fun event, to be honest.
It is.
It seems, to be honest, it seems more fun than the presentation of the Gomio Guide.
It is fucking fun. And you see a lot of familiar faces and everybody's there to have a good time. A lot of alcohol flowing. A lot of caviar. a lot of fancy food. Loved it. But it was pouring raining when we went there. It was really nice. The temperature inside, it's in a greenhouse in Verbeke Foundation. So Peter, our photographer, Peter Dope, he also told us that it's extremely hot if it's a nice day. But it was raining like big time, so it was perfect.
Nice. It cooled it down. Because you get the award. What you're flabbergasted, obviously. I remember seeing a video of you receiving the nomination.
I was crying my heart out.
Receiving the prize.
I cried my heart out.
So you get that. What goes through your mind at that point?
I was like, honestly, I'm like thinking, really, it was this much these people needed to like it? Because people think that we put so much effort on those videos. It's just like the talk we're having. It's sometimes when Aliki comes to film, I don't even know what I'm going to cook. Mm-hmm. I just look at her, what the fuck did you do today? What I have in the fridge? And we just start. Really, with all the effort we did to build it, compared to what we're doing now, that is what we do on a daily basis or everything. I have a bit of imposter syndrome sometimes because people expect a product or something and it's just like we are. Mm-hmm. It's an imposter. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time.
Especially at that point when you're making pasta, you're nominated for an award and
that has nothing to do with the pasta. It has to do with the social.
Yeah, but also, well, it's connected, right? So, I mean, if you would do, I don't know, travel vlogs, that would have nothing to do with the pasta. Yeah. That makes sense. But you're doing pasta on the socials as well. But you could see it this way. You were nominated as culinary innovator, but you're making pasta just really well.
Yeah.
In and of itself, there's not that much innovation in pasta, is there?
Absolutely not. The innovative part is somebody not looking like an old granny, making what an old granny would do. That's the only innovative part of it. Because actually we did not invent hot water. We are doing nothing that will change the pasta world apart from bringing back what used to be done. Because as you asked me, if Italians do make pasta at home, they don't. They almost forgot how to make that. So the only part is a young person swearing like a truck driver, making recipes that nonnas used to make. There's nothing, maybe just the communication point of view, the language is innovative. Or the lack of filters.
But it's surprising, though. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's... I have to be honest with you. I want to slow it down a bit. Because I joke saying that I make a lot of things all the time. I don't want to handle this part of our business to anyone, if not me and Emanuele, to make. So I think we got to a point where we're not done. We don't feel like, hey, we arrived there. But I feel that the attraction and the audience we had and the contacts that we were able to make through that, we're good. We don't need to keep that posting continuously and that answering. It's time also for us to a bit slow down. The world will keep spinning. The pasta will be kept rolled. There's no FOMO anymore a bit. It's that's my, New Year's resolution, to take it a bit easier online.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, the pasta needs to be rolled.
Yes.
It doesn't roll itself.
No, absolutely.
And if I look at the website that you guys, the web shop, it's sold out almost every week.
It's a fucking shit show. It's because the whole point of Pastology was the pasta box. We never expected the business to turn the opposite way, because maybe of the whole thing, 20% is pasta box and 80% is B2B. And we never saw that coming. And we rolled the pasta only on order. So as I told you, there's no stock. There's no things to pick from the shelves. So when people order, or even if you order one stuk, one thing, we will make it fresh for you. So sometimes it's just like...
So when you have a slow week, it's good to make content, but when you have a busy week,
exactly,
because everybody orders all at the same time, you're like, uh-oh.
No, and especially because we are in the Netherlands, and most of our customer base is from Belgium. And we have still no fucking clue of when their holidays are in Belgium. And then I see too many orders for a specific day. And I'm like, what kind of fuckery is this? And then I go check, bam, it's a holiday. And then it just gets overcomplicated.
You know what works really well to remember those dates? A calendar.
You should see the calendar we have in the atelier, man. It's a Dutch calendar. So I need to get a Belgian one. If anyone wants to gift me a Belgian calendar, I would be more than willingly.
One with the holidays on, preferably.
No, because we work everything according to the kids' schedules from school. Now, it's 5 years later, we still have to understand good Pinkster and herfstvakantie and all that stuff. But they don't match with the Belgians.
Mm-hmm.
So we still get...
It's a different country.
Guess what?
It's so basically it means you're still learning every day.
Absolutely.
What's the most surprising thing you've learned about pasta in the past couple of years?
That it is forgiving. If you make any mistake on the dough, there is always a way to fix it. Always. You never throw away any dough. If you make a mistake in bakery, you will have to throw away that dough because it's over-risen or not sweetened enough, or there is reactions happening. You don't have that with pasta. When you think, okay, now it's unsolvable, there is always a way to solve it. More flour, more egg, bit of water. You never throw away anything. It's crazy. There is no waste at all.
So let's say you make shapes. You roll the shapes. There's some dough left of whatever you cut out. You just reuse it then.
That specific thing that we do the trimmings, we put all of them together, spray a bit of water, close it in a plastic bag, let it rest. Once the gluten, again, is nice and de-stressed, we mix that with new dough. So when you roll it, it just goes all back together, and it's a never-ending process. But we keep all the trimmings on the side, let it chill, give it a martini, a cigarette chill, but let them just stay there, and then we go back at it again.
That's amazing. That is no waste.
No, zero. And if there are some trimmings that are not sexy at all, we eat them for staff food.
Easy. I mean, Italians liking pasta, who would have thought?
Yeah, Italians, yes, but Sene, that's the guy working with us, he's from Ghent. I think he's had enough of pasta at this point. He's like, okay, can we eat something else? Can we have something different? I can understand that. Especially trimmings pasta is his favorite. He's like, no.
It's just whatever, and you just cook it. That's basically it.
That's Emanuele's kink, the trimmings pasta. We don't support that. Okay, me and Sene, we don't support it.
It is what it is.
Yes, then I go to the supermarket, I get some filet américain, some pistoletjes, and we're happy.
But it's actually quite surprising that there's almost zero waste. It's what I saw on the internet recently was some very artful made pasta.
Get wasted.
No. It was art. Basically, very different colors, very different textures, shapes.
You want to go there?
Yeah.
You want to go down that rabbit hole?
Yeah. Is that something you've been experimenting with?
Yes. If I worked with the Dido, with the clay, with Play-Doh, I would be experimenting that. People don't realize that if you look at those pictures, I bet a free pasta box to anyone that can find a grain of flour on top of those pastas. Zoom it. Take your pro machines and zoom in and tell me you find flour in there. With the Play-Doh, we can make amazing colors, amazing things. And once you cook it, in actual pasta, you can make vibrant colors, you can make stripes, you can make dots, you can make all that stuff. And many times chefs ask me, can you make this exact pasta? And they send me pictures from these profiles. And I'm like, dude, my kids work with Play-Doh. I play with pasta. It's just something unachievable. It's impossible. And if it is similar, it will be one thing raw and a total shit show when it's cooked. Many people don't believe it. We still make it for them. And hey, you were right. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Some stripes can be done, but most of those Instagram profiles you see with those pastas that look absolutely incredible, it's not pasta.
Yeah, well, that's also the power of social media, the power of television,
Absolutely.
so to speak, where you can see things, but it's not always...
You go find me the grain of flour on top of those beautiful pastas. I'll wait. I'll wait.
So that also means that you have been experimenting with it.
Yes. I also DM'd those people. They asked 3,000 euros for a 2-hour course on how to make that pasta.
Interesting.
Sounds like a biz, right?
Sounds like a very good business plan. The question is, though, just like with a lot of the online courses, did you actually learn something? Does it actually work?
I have better.
That's what I'm
I
always-
have better ways to spend my money than
Exactly,
that. Okay.
Exactly. That's what I'm always very skeptical about. I did take a few online courses in the past just to see what they're like. And I never felt like that I actually learned something.
Yeah, I can totally understand. I never did them. Or maybe I did one for the social media, for the editing and creation, or just when I was like, what do I have to do now? But it's a different thing. It's nothing manual. It's just where to click, what to click, and how to do. But we have been experimenting with colors, with stripes. We did some really cool pastas for Vicky Gaunes, for an event he had with the really thin stripes. We did for Edwin in Dunas, in Knokke. They had a 3-color stripe pasta. But
That sounds basic and manageable.
no, it's not. It costs like a kidney. If you want me to make that pasta, it will cost you like a kidney, really.
But let's say if I want to do it at home, adding a stripe to my last layer of pasta,
Absolutely,
it should be
absolutely
manageable.
doable, and it's something you can have a fuck ton of fun doing because you can get the blacks and the reds and the greens. It's super eye-popping and impressive to make at home. When you need to do it on a 20, 30, 50 kilo basis, it is very slow. That's why we charge a lot for that. We still make it. It's just a slow process. Even if you get fast at it, it will still be slow.
It makes sense because you have to stop the flow that you have to add the stripes.
Of course, we got now a good system to make it because you see many times they layer the pastas and then they cut it and they roll it. It doesn't work. It will come a shit show. You need to put every single stripe on the pasta sheet and be careful when you laminate it for the last time because if one string moves, the whole thing will gonna come moved and you start twitching a bit, you know? But no, it's totally...
Sounds like fun.
At home, it's totally doable. And it's a super fun project. I'll make a reel about that, about making the striped pasta. a doable one, not an Instagram one.
Okay, but I am curious though if you could make the Instagram one as an actual pasta, because as you said, if they're not real, they do inspire people to try though.
Yes. Did you ever see somebody putting the inspiration online? Like, I tried and this is what it's the outcome?
Fair point.
I looked for it.
Fair point.
There's no inspired by or hashtag I did it too. You don't see that because it comes out a shit show. Like people making blue pasta. If there's one thing that is against any laws of food, is blue food. I really will not get over it. We had a request to make blue pasta. and those pastas you're talking about, they're like turquoise, dark blue, white, navy, and all the stripes and things. I'll break the news for you. If there is white and blue, the pasta water will become blue. The white part will become blue. It will be a big, beautiful blue shit show. It will not. Also, you see, have you ever seen one of those pastas placed on a dish cooked with some sauce? No, you've seen it always raw. and always a beautiful piece of pasta with all the openings and all the stripes. Get the fuck out of here. Let's see. Look, I start to get twitchy.
I was just about to say, like, oh, you're getting all worked up and nervous. Let's move the subject. But I think you mentioned something interesting just before we got to this subject, and that's the get wasted. It's
it's so cool.
It's a project where they use leftover bread to make pasta. Are you in touch with them? Have you spoken to them?
Not at all, ever. I just follow them. I'm a follower. And I actually came up on my feed. They, if I'm not wrong, they sent pasta to 11 Madison. Mm-hmm. And the staff food of 11 Madison was the pasta from Get Wasted.
Yep.
Man.
Same with Noma. They also did it at Noma.
I get super enthusiastic when these kinds of collabs and people, I think one of them worked at Noma or something like that, because they're from Copenhagen.
They are from Denmark, yeah.
But that's something also. All the big names in the restaurant world, you will always know somebody that worked somewhere, that knows someone else, that is, it's all interconnected. No matter how far you go in the world, you will always know somebody, and there will always be an Italian in the kitchen. Always. And I love to see when these things happen, that people just get together. I don't know what they will do at the end of it, if there will be actually a commercial product or not. I'm just a follower like anyone else, and I just droll, on the whole idea, and it's amazing. Really.
Yeah. There's another thing I wanted to ask you about. In the US, there's been a podcaster that created a new shape of pasta, the cavatelli. I think maybe it's a different word, but
it's a pan cup.
It's like it's really interestingly shaped. It's a tube that has ridges, so it can hold more sauce.
Okay.
Cascatelli, I think it's called. There's not been many new shapes in the world of pasta. He made it because he was like, I'm going to try and make it, see if I can. It's become a commercially available product, but it's not easy to make because it's extrusion. It's a difficult shape. Is that something that you're interested in trying, to create a completely new pasta shape?
No. But Barilla has a side project. I think it's called Blue Ribbon or Blue something. I don't remember the name. Where they 3D any pasta shape you come up in your head. They have 3D printers and they 3D print anything you want. They have a small selection of letters and numbers and I think flowers and stuff like that. But you can submit any project and they will do it. Not long time ago, a girl, I think she was 8 or 9 years old, in Italy, it was all over the newspapers. She texts Barilla saying, I think that the big pans, the cap of the big pan would be perfect as a pasta shape because it's like a funnel and it would hold the sauce inside. The fuckers did the pasta for her. And they sent it to her.
Amazing.
Yes, and it was all over the news, everywhere. Thing about creating a different shape of pasta, it's not about cooking anymore. It's physics and it's engineering of the pasta die. Every pasta die we use, they're like this big, I think around the 15 centimeters, made in bronze. Each one costs between 200 and 500 euros each for one shape of pasta. So it is the really small one. The dies they use in big productions are big as this table. They can go up to 2 meters of size. The cost is super high, and people are not always ready for change. You will always want your spaghetto or your rigatone, or people will always tend to choose these ones. Also that you don't have much choice of shapes here. In Italy, if you go to a supermarket, easy, at least 30 shapes of pasta. And we know the names of all of them and so on. So I don't think there is a novelty thing about that, but not a commercial point of view of doing that.
That's it's very interesting to hear that from your perspective because you know what you're talking about. I just see a really cool shape and I'm like, oh, somebody made a new shape. Cool.
Yeah.
But the 3D printing, that sounds interesting though.
Man, it's super cool.
Did you try it? Did you send an idea in?
So I got in contact with them because of the colored pasta, the striped one, because I was like, hey, are you guys also doing this by any chance? Because I was navigating to understand how the fuck is the guy doing, where I want to get to the deep point of it. And they're like, no, we actually just 3D print the extruded pasta. And I was like, really? But again, it's not cooks that do that. It's not gastronomic people. It's engineers, it's software freaks, it's people that like to play with vectors and stuff like that. Not my circus, not my monkeys.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense, but still, I'm still interested in knowing how it tastes because if you make a dough, obviously your dough has a texture and a structure. If you 3D print,
I think it's going to be exactly the same thing.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. The closest you can get to that is ruote pazze. It's a shape that is like a wheel. So when you cook it, it will have different consistencies inside because in the deep middle, it will not get as cooked as in the outside. So there you have some kind of different feelings in your mouth. But honestly, it doesn't fucking change anything. Like, yes, you can get the ridges on the penne that or the rigatoni that will trap the sauce or stuff like that. The main thing about the pasta is how you cook it, not the shape, not the size, it's just not overcooking it and having enough starch to bind your sauce in. Because also a pasta with a lot of ridges, if you're unable to make a proper sauce, it won't make miracles. It will drip of it immediately. It won't be such a game changer.
Because let's just set the record straight for anyone listening. You can't just use any pasta with any type of sauce. I mean, you can do whatever the fuck you want. But,
thank you. Thank you.
But the idea of certain pastas is that they go better with certain types of sauce.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. The basics is that long pastas require thinner sauces, but not all of them. And chunkier sauces call for shorter pastas that have holes, and so the sauce gets inside. That's a big, how to make a big group out of it. There is some specifics, some differences, but Italians are just a pain in the ass, man, because really you can eat any pasta with any sauce, whatever the fuck makes you happy. Really, it's unbelievable how picky they can be and it gets tiring at a certain point. But we love having to say something also. It's a love and hate relationship.
It's a thin blue line that you're walking there.
Yeah. Yeah, but we don't care anymore. So no, let's say that shorter pastas, if you have chunky sauces, the sauce will get inside. Perfection. And if you have long pastas with a bit thinner sauces, they will get all around it. The most important thing is to never buy that shiny, beautiful pasta you see on a supermarket. Go for the rough one. Go for the one that doesn't look super sexy. Because when you see the nice plasticky one, as you see it, is how you're going to put it, digest it out. Like it will go in and go out the same way.
Luckily, these days, there's no shortage of pasta in supermarkets, so we do have the opportunity to buy some good pasta. There is obviously a difference between what you're making and what is in a supermarket.
It's really two different products.
Exactly.
I also carry at home, I have supermarket pasta. Not ashamed to say it. When you need it fast. We have kids at home. Sometimes, you just... There's always pasta. Emanuele gets really pissed at me when he sees that I buy pasta. He's like, yeah, we don't have enough pasta, eh? I said, yeah, but...
He's not wrong, though.
I know.
There is pasta to be found.
Yeah.
But,
hey, I don't say lies.
But let's say, somebody's hitting you up in the DMs and they're going like, look, I want to eat better pasta. what should I look for in the supermarket? Is there brands you recommend? Is there something they need to pay attention to? You just said if it's shiny, leave it. If it's got a rough exterior, that's better.
Yes. Companies are making it easier a bit also with the packagings. So there's sometimes those paper-like packages or really simple designs. Usually they have the good stuff. Like in the Netherlands, we can find pretty easily commercial brands that still keep a bit of core value. And in the supermarkets, for me, it's super to see them. I don't know, also in Belgium, probably. When people ask me those questions on DMs, I try to specify what market are you asking for, because in Brazil they have a pasta, in the States they have another one. I don't know if you ever tried the same barilla you buy in Italy or you buy here, the one you buy in the States. It's another product. It's nothing to do with it. It is made according to that market.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But there are some brands that are staples that some are easier to find, some are a bit less. But De Cecco, for example, we say in Italian, nessuna lode, nessuna infamia. You have nothing good to say about it, you have nothing bad to say about it. It's just standard household pasta in Italy. Garofalo, rummo. Now Albertine is carrying Liguori. That's fucking delicious. It's perfect. So there is actually good products. But you also have really cheap products sitting next to them in the pasta section. And I can understand that people might be struggling or might make some economy at home. Pasta is pasta, man. It's we don't have to tell a big fairy tale about the long drying. It's just comfort food. It's fast. And if it's commercial, it's supposed to be cheap. You cannot charge a fuck ton of money for water and flour. Mm-hmm. I do charge a lot of money because I select a specific flour and I make it on order for you. Like restaurants, they want 100 grams Nest spaghettone. We make it just for them. That way, it's not the same pasta that you will find in a supermarket. So it's totally understandable that it needs to be affordable, needs to be good. Just if one package is €0.99 and one is €1.10, come on, man. You know, it's not going to be those 10 cents that's going to change your life. Really.
That's true. There is a difference, though, in the sense that you have dry pasta in shelves, and then there's also, especially at Albert Heijn, is a good example, there's also pasta in the fridge, which is fresh pasta. What is the difference? Why would I choose one over the other?
It's a different kind of product, really, because with the fresh ones you have at Albert Heijn, first of all, you have eggs in the dough. Most of the dried pasta, they don't have eggs. You have to look for pasta all'uovo. So that is the main big difference. And the texture. Fresh pasta will always be a bit chewier. It's really a different product. What everybody eats in Italy on a daily basis is not fresh pasta, it's dried. Out from the box, dried pasta. And to be honest, Albert Heijn, they're getting good. Their fillings for the fresh ones, the raviolis they are getting actually good. When we moved to the Netherlands, I remember there were 2, maybe 3 choices of fresh pasta. Now you have poompoen and provola, you have vangetjes, you have... The choice is really amazing. I doubt what's inside there for it to cost, for one package, €2 something. It's not going to be bad stuff, but how much percentage you have to cut to get there. But, hey, chapeau. Mm-hmm. Really.
Shout out Narapi. But yeah, it's interesting to know. So it can help people make a more informed choice, I guess, when they're in the supermarket, because as you said, you're doing a lot of custom stuff plus the pasta box. It's fun to order a pasta box from you guys, but sometimes you just want a pasta.
Yes,
you want it
absolutely.
Quick, or you want to try some recipe and you need the big shells, which are not on your web shop, if I'm not mistaken. So people have to go to
That's something that surprised us big time, is the amount. We go sold out also so quickly because we have a lot of customers that order in one shot 10, 15, 20 pasta boxes.
Wow.
And they freeze. They freeze the fresh pasta. They freeze the sauces. Sometimes they freeze the cheese too, which is totally doable. And it has a 3-month shelf life in the freezer. And you don't need to defrost it before cooking. You just have your boiling water. You pop it in the boiling water. Done. And that surprised me in the beginning because I was like, whoa, big families, or hey, they're throwing a pasta party or something like that. But actually, also in our labels, we also always write in first person. So cook me for blah, 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 or freeze me up to 3 months. And people don't ever read labels or anything. And then actually that surprised me. The amount of people that stack and hoard pasta in their freezers, it's really...
It makes sense though. If you don't have time, if you don't want to spend the time,
no,
just
and
take it
it's
out
fresh.
the freezer and
We have the sauces in little bags. The pasta, now we have our thermoseal, map sealed dinkies. They just put done. But in the beginning, really, it was like, man, this guy is throwing a lot of pasta parties. Oh, this other one. Oh. And we couldn't wrap our heads around. Also because we have the pastas that are in boxes of 6, 3, or 4. When they start to be 20, 15, you're like, okay, how the fuck am I going to pack this now? Like, really?
But it worked, and it's fun to hear that, all these surprises come up, and it's only because you do things that you get to experience that.
Yeah. And my mom also, she always asks me, aren't you tired of doing this job? Aren't you tired of being there? Man, I have the best fucking job in the whole world. I play with dough the whole day. I eat best fucking food ever. Man, and we keep learning. We learn every day there's some new fuckery, something to learn, something to fix, something. But it's all part of
the journey.
Yeah, but it's a good one. It's a vibey one. It's not a stressful one.
It's not like the kitchen at Pure Sea.
No, fuck no, man. No way, Jose.
That's good. So,
but that is that specific vibe in Pure Sea. It's also addictive, because I remember that I worked until I was 8 months pregnant in the kitchen, shouting and barking. And Iman, the kitchen manager, had to take my pass away from me and say, "Get the fuck out of here, go home." And I'm like, no, but I'm good. Get the fuck out of here, go home. So yeah, big fat cow like this shouting at stagiaires.
So do you still shout?
No, not at all. At the kids sometimes, yeah, but
that's a different thing.
Yeah, that's a different.
So all in all, I would say your vibe is much better now.
That's why I stopped working in kitchens. After having kids, I calmed so much down. I got so much chiller that I would have zero respect now in a kitchen. I would be, okay, chill. I was not like this before. No, not a bit.
Surprising when people see you go off on the comments on your Instagram.
Oh, wow.
A little bit once in a while, I guess.
Just when I want to feel a bit spicy.
Obviously, so the socials are where people can follow and follow along the journey. Let's say people want to have their own pasta made for their birthday or for their restaurant or whatever. What's the easiest for them to reach you and to discuss ideas?
Pastology.nl. There is a contact section. We read it straight away. We reply to everyone. Stop looking for my number on that website because there is somewhere my number. The fucking agency put it there and I get calls from people. Don't call me. I will not answer.
Very Gen Z of you to not answer phone calls.
Ah, man, it gets me so anxious. Really, big time. I'm a full-time texter, not an answer.
Fair enough.
Yeah, last time I did not answer the phone. I just looked at the phone. It was ringing, and I get anxious, really. And I pass it to Emanuele. It was MasterChef calling us to do an episode. And he was like, bitch, you gonna answer the phone sometime or not?
So, did that happen, or does it?
Yeah, it happened last year.
Last year? Yeah, I hadn't seen the series, so.
And I was like, I don't want to answer. And I was like, hello, this is Dennis from MasterChef. Like, what the fuck?
That's amazing, though.
Yeah, it was super fun.
How's that experience?
That was mind-blowing, really. It was best thing ever, really.
So, in a way, that's all coming out of you doing those socials.
that happened 1 week before Surprise, Surprise, Motherfuckers.
That they called you?
No, that we did, the episode was shot. Well, 1 week, it was MasterChef and then the Surprise, Surprise, Motherfuckers. It was really next to each other.
So the MasterChef was before it blew up, basically.
Yeah.
So how did Dennis find you then?
Friends in common and people. Yeah, Belgium is really small.
Mm-hmm.
We all know each other more or less when you work with the certain types of restaurants. But yeah, out of the blue, really. We get a lot of things that just happen with no reason. Okay.
That's cool, though.
I've attracted that kind of vibe my whole life, just things happening here and there.
You're manifesting it.
Yeah, big time.
That's cool.
Sell Pastology.
So, MasterChef, tell me about that. So you pull up to the studios?
Yeah, so I did a pasta masterclass, and then they had the 60 minutes, which I was shocked to realize they actually have only 60 minutes. There's no extra 10 minutes or editing time. No, it's that. And I taught them how to make pasta, and they actually had to make a dish. Tasted some horrible shit and some really nice stuff done. But it was, we met Nick before while we were working in Purcy at Food Fest. So we knew more or less the people there. And but it was just arrived at the studio. They put hair, makeup, everything, and just go for it. And in fact, there you can see I'm pretty polite. I still was trying to hold my shit together, and I was smiling. Well, I made a comment there because Dan, it was one of the participants, he said, pasta is almost like a dim sum. I ate him. I fucking ate him. Like, really, what are you saying? What, dim sum? Seriously? It was a funny moment.
I mean, I see why people want to say that. The history of pasta is also shrouded in mystery.
It's not mystery. We stole everything from the Chinese. Where's the mystery?
Well, I mean...
Yeah, we just want to play the big dick contest. We stole everything. It's just Italians. Yeah, we know better. We do better. No.
So in that sense, dim sum and pasta being filled with stuffing, the connection is easily made.
Yeah. Yeah, he wanted to be funny. I was not being funny.
Not at that point.
Not at that point. No, but really, you always want to educate people in a way of what you're doing, the tradition. But there's always another story behind it. And you also have to be, I call them the pasta police. You always have to be open to others people, like the carbonara that everybody says, it's Italian, it's something that nonnas make and whatever. And some people say it's the Americans that when they freed Italy, they brought in bacon and they had eggs in the ratio and they just put it together. So it's bacon and eggs. I don't give a shit who invented it, who comes first, the chicken or the egg. Whatever, guys. Is it that really going to change your life to know who really made it? Or you just want to know how to cook a proper one and make it good?
I mean, if you were an anthropologist, it
Voila.
might change your life.
Do I look like an anthropologist? No, you know what I mean? Like, it's like people want to find a reason to pick on something, like the carbonara. I don't think I'm going to make anytime soon any more really traditional videos because really it's unbelievable. Everybody's an anthropologist. With Google, everybody's an anthropologist. Wikipedia, then it's... People love it, eh? But yeah, it's we just make pasta. And the pasta police does not exist. You want to put cream and ketchup on your pasta? Go for it. Does it make you happy? I'm happy. Really, it's simple as that.
I guess maybe you're also a little more open because you've had other experiences. Because if that's the way it's always been done, and that's the way your nonna taught you how to do it, and there's no other way to do it, it's easy to be like, what are you doing now? Right?
Yes, absolutely. You're just giving me free engagement. You know what I mean? Like, also that people love to comment with their own recipes. Good for you, Karen. You know, like, it makes you happy. Do whatever makes you happy, really. I'm not telling truths. I'm not, okay, I can be punchy when I say I'm making the OG carbonara. Man.
But you're not talking in absolutes. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? It's and people think that I get angry if they say, "Can I put cream? Can I put ketchup?" I was raised in Brazil. We eat pasta with ketchup. I'm totally fine with that. You know, it's just about put your feet back on the ground. You know, having an internet connection doesn't make you a better person. Just do normal.
And at the end of the day, it's just food.
Yeah, you're not saving lives, man.
So if it tastes good, you're right.
Exactly. It's just simple as that.
And if it looks good, you're better.
It just doesn't need to look blue, okay? For the rest.
Or too brown.
Oh, my.
The future for Pastology, what is in it, according to you? More pasta? More shapes? More customs?
More stuff. Let's start with that. We have to think of a bigger space. But we made Pastology especially to don't have a boss or a timetable to follow. Of course, we have customers that need a pasta a certain day or time, but today my kid is sick, Emanuele is home. Perfect. You know, like we don't need to ask permission or anything. We can bring the kids to work. I can go out to bring the dog out in the middle of the day if I feel like it. It's just balance. And once you have that, you hold on to it with your motherfucking life, really. Just my dream would be to eventually sell the Pastology brand at some point, not become a huge empire of pasta. That's Emanuele's dream. Mine is to, once it's good, once it's really rock and rolling, buy, do we. But we don't know what's going to come, right?
Well,
we make plans.
You've had some surprises in the past already, so you don't know what surprises are lurking behind the corner.
No, but we're really enjoying the ride. We're not here stressing the fuck out for numbers and statistics, and we keep a tight ship. We really enjoy it. That's priceless, I think.
Yeah. That sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
And now stick to it. All right, Bruna, thanks so much for coming to the podcast. I really enjoyed this conversation.
We made it finally after months of bargaining dates.
The thing is, like, there's time.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work out this time, it's going to work out next time.
Voila.
And here we are the next time. It worked out. Happy days. So, thanks so much. Mensen die nog niet volgen, het is echt de moeite om te volgen. Het is funny, het is leerrijk, het is interessant. En de pasta is ook lekker. Ik heb ze al een paar keer kunnen proeven. Dus zeker de moeite om... waarschijnlijk als je in bepaalde restaurants geweest bent, heb je het geproefd zonder dat je het wist. Maar zeker de moeite om de account te volgen. Bruna, grazie mille.
Grazie a te.
Bedankt om te luisteren naar Overeten. Vond je het een leuke aflevering? Deel deze podcast dan zeker met andere foodies. Tag me gerust op Facebook of Instagram via @overetenpodcast. Honger naar meer? Dat is mijn maandelijkse nieuwsbrief vol eet, drink en luisterplezier. Schrijf je in via de website, dat is www.overetenpodcast.be. Bedankt en hopelijk tot binnenkort.